Yeah, yo, folks. Welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonko table. That is the voice of Grandmaster Hoop coming at you from. Hi, I'm Razum517, but you can call me Roz because that's right, folks. That was my great impression of Lupita Nyong'o's Roz because we're here to talk about The Wild Robot, the hit animated film from DreamWorks Animation Studios. And goodness, we have a lot to say about this film. Some might say it was unoriginal. Some might say it was a rehash of previous robotic character-led movies. Some will say it's the best animated feature of 2024. But we're here to deep dive and get into all that. With me, as always, is Dr. Jace Attorney. Dr. Jace Attorney, I'm going to throw a curveball at you right now. Iron Giant, Wally, Wild Robot, choose one, go.
Oh no! Too nervous. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's too much to juggle. That's too much to juggle. I can't do it.
Fine. He can't do it. He's not brave. Folks, if you didn't see, Dr. Mondo's here. Dr. Mondo, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you right now. Wild Robot, Iron Giant, Wally, go.
Take out Wally.
Rude.
Wow.
Take out
You know what?
Wally.
No. I respect that because he's not dictated by nostalgia. I respect that.
Take out Wally. And honestly, I love the Iron Giant and I love the Wild Robot, both for different reasons. And this movie hit at my heartstrings. And Iron Giant as well when I was a kid. And I've seen it then as an adult now. But both of them are great movies. Stop your hate.
Listen, nobody threw a curveball at me. Nobody cares about my opinion. See, nobody cares.
Because we know what your opinion is.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. What's my opinion? What's my opinion of? Go ahead. Throw the curveball.
Well, what? That it's unoriginal.
Your curveball on this is Iron Giant's better. It did it better. It did it first. Therefore,
you have no idea. You have no idea what I think about this movie.
I know what you think about this. I was sitting next to you when we watched this movie.
And what happened?
You laughed.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Oh, you didn't notice.
I did notice.
Notice what?
You did not cry in this movie.
I did. I did cry. Yeah, Dr. Mondo. Look at your jaw drop to the floor.
Dr.
Look
Mondo,
at your jaw drop
Dr. Mondo,
to the floor.
do not let him trick you with this because he still thinks Iron Giant is better.
I have not said anything. I have not said anything.
Like I'm fine with you thinking that Iron Giant is better. That's fine.
I haven't said anything.
But let's say if you did. I don't care if you did or didn't.
Words in my mouth.
I don't care if you did or didn't. Like this movie, I'm not comparing it to Iron Giant because that is irrelevant because I love both movies. But this was definitely the best animated film that has come out in 2024 as of now. This is the best animated movie.
I will say I don't think that's an absurd statement. Of the animated films I've seen of 2024, which is not many actually.
Inside Out 2.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
Oh no, that doesn't belong here.
Oh, rude.
Be realistic.
Transformers 1.
Oh wow, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. I was
ones.
Yeah, those are I think the top contenders. There's probably one more movie. Oh, I guess Moana 2 comes out this year as well. And then there's Flow, which is also getting a lot of buzz.
Flow.
It's about a cat. Look it up. It's getting a lot of
the
major
one where
buzz.
like it's a cat going on like an adventure like in the ocean and on okay. That one looks interesting. That one looks interesting.
Animation wise, I think it looks actually kind of similar to what's going on here in The Wild Robot.
Well, it looks like probably like a silent film in a way.
Well,
dialogue, no dialogue.
This also this cell shaded style of animation that The Wild Robot did.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe it, but
I probably paintbrush.
Sure, yeah, watercolor, cell shaded, yeah.
Did they do what Wish wanted to do?
Yes. Oh, actually, okay. That is you're right. You're right.
Oh wow, you agree? You're not.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
No. What Wish wanted to do? Wish would have wished that their movie looked like this.
Wish would have wished.
Wish I think Wish did look like this, but Wish didn't do anything with it.
No,
with
no,
its
no, no, no,
animation.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Wish did not look like this all the time.
No,
Wish
yeah,
No, I think
that's
sometimes
like
looked like this.
like the style.
Sometimes it was just lifeless.
The style of Wish in a way is like a watercolor painting, similar to the Wild Robot. But what Wild Robot did with that same art style is they just splurged all over the screen with it. They had fun with it. They did
Yeah, they had
much.
fun. The movie was movement. It was energy. It was honestly beautiful to watch. From an animation standpoint, it was. And here's okay. And I wanted to bring this up too, because this is a big thing. This is a DreamWorks movie, and
which blows my mind. Like,
correct, right, exactly.
DreamWorks is hit or miss.
It's hella hit or miss. Yeah.
You
Wait,
either get the greatness of Kung Fu Panda or you get Home.
Hey, now hold up.
No.
No, but like,
People
but
like
to be
Home.
fair, like, hey, but to be fair, like, this is, I think, not, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is not the first time that DreamWorks kind of like experiments with this type of animation. Like Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots, yeah.
Yeah, Puss in Boots had this type of animation, and
that's what
amazing.
And that's what I was going to ask. I was like, are we sleeping on DreamWorks? Because yes, Puss in Boots. I had to think about it. I was like, when's the last time I saw a DreamWorks movie in theaters? Well, obviously Kung Fu Panda 4, which was atrocious.
God.
And then I think before that it was The Last Wish, Puss in Boots. And I was like, and I know animation wise, people talk about what's that one with the bad guys? They said the bad guys. I
haven't seen it.
I still haven't seen the bad guys either, but they say animation wise, the animation is really good in that movie.
Yeah.
So I'm here to ask right now to both of y'all, are we sleeping on DreamWorks? Because right now, as of late, it's been Sony Animation, Paramount, and Pixar who continuously kind of hold down.
What's Paramount done?
Paramount was TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, and Transformers 1.
Okay,
yeah. And then
so I think it's like definitely DreamWorks has a good track record. Don't get me wrong. Like obviously you have Shrek there, and also
Shrek. Hold up, that's 20 years ago.
No, but I mean
their
like
catalog.
I mean their catalog. I'm not saying their recent stuff, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So we know that DreamWorks has in the past had the ability to make extraordinary animated movies, impactful animated movies.
Definitely agreed.
But now I would say their last great animated film before this, I would say, was Puss in Boots, the Last Wish. Like that was great, and I went into that movie blind, no expectation.
None. Yeah, none.
And it blew me out of the park.
But I'm saying like
maybe
we should go back and watch Boss Baby 2. Maybe Boss Baby 2 is
okay.
No, we don't know.
Maybe
Boss
Baby 2.
Maybe
watch Boss Baby. We need to watch Megamind the animated series.
Stop.
We need to watch
no.
Boss Baby the animated series.
Yeah, no, you're losing it. You're losing it.
This is what you're suggesting.
No, I'm just saying maybe because even the new Dogman movie that comes out looks like they're trying. That's also DreamWorks, and it looks like they're trying to push this envelope because we've been saying this. If animated films nowadays are not trying to be, the next, if they're not trying to do the Spider-Verse, if they're not trying to do the Spider-Verse,
they're not pushing the envelope.
They're not pushing it. Right. And I'd like to say, I think the Wild Robot pushed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, like this movie was just, let's say this movie was a silent film with just this animation, right? Going for it, and everything that happened, the way they were moving and the way this movie looked, it was just like beautiful. It was just beautiful to watch from start to finish.
Talking about it being a silent film, the first because I didn't know anything about the movie outside of the few trailers that we saw. I thought going into this that it was going to be one of those silent films where there's no dialogue. It's just the interactions and the expressions from the creatures and the animals. That's all you're going to get in terms of dialogue, but nothing verbal. So I thought, oh man, this is going to be a full hour and a half.
And
of
I
this
think,
stuff.
And to kind of like hammer a little bit that point, like I knew this wasn't going to be a silent film, but there's so many parts in the movie that's like, this is like how good the animation is, that you can kind of see like these little changes kind of like in the faces of the characters that
Yeah.
you kind of like, and they still transmit a message.
Yeah.
Even though they're like, they don't even need to speak, they're still transmitting a message there. That's like how good the animation is in this movie. Obviously, it's enhanced by the dialogue and
Yeah.
all
You
that.
kind of like,
But this
and they
movie, if
still
it had zero
transmit a
dialogue, it would have
message.
still been a really freaking good animated movie because of how good and vivid that animation was.
Yeah, no, they were doing things with the colors and like the texture of, you know, just like the fur and the feathers and just everything that moved. It did feel very lifelike, a very like a come to life painting. I
Yeah.
honestly, you know, you brought up Wish, and I do think this is kind of the idea Wish
honestly,
was going for. But again, I say about that movie is just kind of boring to watch. Not much
Oh,
actually
no, it's like
happens in that movie.
Wish, it's really just like, because this animation style, you know, what sets it apart is that it's very much alive. You know, it's like you're watching a Van Gogh, you're watching a painting of whatever sort, and you know the painting kind of moves in your, like it's you feel that the painting is moving. Wish, there were parts of Wish that looked like this, but then there were parts of Wish that it looked like a still life, that nothing was moving.
Listen, I say the the best animated sequence in Wish is that stupid part where the goat makes all the chickens sing and dance.
Yeah,
and I was like, why is this the most lifelike? Why is this the most lifelike bit in the movie? This random 30-second clip.
No, and honestly, Wish has a ton of other problems other than the animation, but it's like the animation, if like we had a pyramid of problems, the base of the problems start at the animation, and then everything just like goes up from there. But we have an entire pod on Wish, so it's like people can listen to that, and they'll listen to my hate in that.
Were you on that one? On Wish?
Yeah, I was.
Oh my
I said it like what I said about Wish. I wish that it was an hour and 42 minutes shorter.
Okay, I remember that now.
Like that it didn't exist.
Well, I think an hour and 40 is actually a nice, sweet runtime, which is I believe the Wild Robot clocked in at about like an hour and 42 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
So animation wise, we agree. It pushes that envelope, kind of what we want moving forward with a lot of, you know, animation. And I mean, even the contrast between Roz and the furry creatures of this film was quite kind of nice, how the animation could still, you know, flow back and forth with her movements and their movements. Everything looked great. It's honestly, in that third act too, with the forest and the fire.
Yes.
And I was just like, they're eating. But what?
Iron Dragon better.
We're not there yet. We're not there
yet. That's fine.
Let's talk about this. You know, talked about animation. Let's talk about the story. Now, let's build something here. All right. Do you know who directed this movie?
I do not actually. Who directed it?
All right. This is Chris Sanders. He's pretty he's up there in terms of quality animated films. He's worked with Disney. He's actually been working, I guess, with DreamWorks for some time too. He's got good credits to his name. Let's go back to 2002. He had a hit Disney movie debut in the summer of 2002.
Home on the Range.
No. Featuring kind of a fish out of water story of another pre-programmed being that defies code and breaks what they were originally created for and falls in love. Do you know what movie we're talking about?
We're talking about WALL-E.
No, 2002.
I don't know. I forgot when WALL-E came out.
WALL-E was, I think,
2008.
08.
No,
I forgot when WALL-E came out. I saw that movie God knows when.
You're telling me WALL-E came out before Finding Nemo?
You're ruining what I'm building.
That's funny.
Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, he's the
Alright.
voice of Stitch, right?
Actually, yeah, I think he is the voice of Stitch.
Okay.
Right? Because
yeah,
he did the
Yeah.
he's
So
Stitch.
he directed Lilo and Stitch.
He
Yeah.
directed Lilo and Stitch. Yep.
Cool.
That's funny.
Well, him and Dean Dubois.
Dubois.
So they share that credit.
Okay.
Let them share. That's okay. Actually, I guess they're a duo. I guess they've done a couple of projects together. Let's again, common thread. You heard what I said. A creature that is programmed for one thing and defies that original programming, finds love. All right. Let's fast forward now to 2010, 8 years later. They joined DreamWorks and they put out probably DreamWorks' second most notable franchise. They put out their first film in that franchise, nominated for Academy Award as well. Also featuring a creature where there's a preconceived idea of what these creatures do, and the prejudice against these creatures, and yet one person defies that and finds love for these creatures, and love can make you rethink everything. You know what movie this is?
What, this is DreamWorks? This is with DreamWorks?
This is DreamWorks, 2010.
2010. See, you made Dr. Mondo run away.
Good. He doesn't know anyways.
I mean, it's not Kung Fu Panda. I mean,
no, come on.
How to Train Your Dragon? Is that the only other one?
How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon. Do you see the track record here?
Almost like
Chris Sanders.
Almost like he only knows how to tell one story.
Why? What's the story of the wild robot?
The same thing. The same exact thing. Swap out Toothless for I don't know. Whatever the hell.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
So therefore, it's a terrible film.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, I think there's a common theme, but still the wild robot. And I think like each one of those movies of his still have their own unique charm to it. They have a common theme.
They have a very common theme. Yes.
Very common theme. But I think there are some unique qualities of each one of them.
Well, I was going to say,
he
despite
the Croods. I didn't know that.
He did direct the Croods. I didn't want to mention the Croods because it didn't match what I was going for here.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I haven't seen it.
I didn't know he directed the Croods either. Yeah, I didn't.
That's funny.
Know that. But what I'm going at is he's got a common theme, and arguably people would probably agree after watching The Wild Robot, those are probably his 3 best films to date. They still work despite the similarities. They, to Dr. Mondo's point, they have a unique charm to them, and they work. They work. The Wild Robot has everything going against it. One look at this movie, you automatically think Iron Giant, without a doubt.
I know when we saw the trailers, that's what we thought. Like, I mean, that's what I thought. I'm like, this is literally Iron Giant.
Right. Yeah. And then, okay, so let's build from that. A robot lands in an area, has one programming, one duty. Roz, I'm Roz. Voiced wonderfully by Lupita Nyong'o. Love her. Stan her. We stan Lupita.
I guess.
Don't do that. Don't do that. She did great.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
Having a great year this year. She's having a great year.
She can
Quiet
do no
Place
wrong.
Could have been better, but sure.
Wow, that's rude. That's rude. The robot tries to do their duty. She's oh my God, Baymax too. Baymax is another. I knew I was forgetting a robot. Baymax, he won't stop until he,
completes his task.
or satisfy until they're satisfied with their care. Roz here is looking for a task to complete and make sure everything's to satisfaction. But she lands in a forest, and all she has is animals. This was a fun bit. because this I like to, I guess, call this kind of the prologue, watching her run around and try to navigate that with the different animals. I thought it was cool too how they gave a reason to how she could talk to animals. I thought that was fun.
That was kind of
Come
nice.
on.
That was
I
really
thought it was
funny.
good.
That was really funny.
And
Like she just like, okay, I don't understand anything. I'm just gonna. She's just like staying there. You see, like the time pass, and little by little, it starts like filling the blanks. And
in a
that's,
lesser movie, they would have been able to talk to her without an issue.
yeah, in this one, they actually went out of their way to explain. Okay, how can she communicate with animals?
They said we want talking animals, we just want logic.
And it's a whole process, like how she learns the
Yeah.
language, because like as she's like scanning them and whatnot, like they're going into like you see the letters and dialect that she's like translating piece by piece. So you see the letters slowly get decoded into how the animals are actually talking, because they have speech bubbles above their head, and it's gibberish at first. But as time goes on and it's fast forwarding through it, the letters start to become more clear. And it's like, oh, okay, it's a whole ass language.
Yep.
It was really fun. I found that hilarious.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's like dumb fun. Like, because no Disney movie is ever going to give a reason why the animals can talk other than magic,
David said you're out of line for that Iron Giant background.
He loves the Iron Giant too. Don't let him fool you.
He said, take it down.
So we watching Roz adapt. And again, some critiques, and we talked about this with Rose the Crafter. I might have been okay if the whole first half was a silent film, kind of like the Wall-E effect. I don't know.
Wall-E
I think
really committed to that for like a full half of
for
its movie.
Correct. Like I think the first 30 to 40 minutes is straight Wall-E.
Right. Ew.
Eve. That was like the only two sounds, or like verbal sounds.
I wonder if these studios cop out of doing that because they're kind of worried that kids need that verbal communication and engagement to stay in the seat and be attentive. Because I thought Wall-E, even thinking back to Wall-E, I thought Wall-E was supposed to be a film just about that, just about silence.
The first initial trailers would make you think it is going to be that.
And then when they introduce the humans, I'm like, oh crap, there's dialogue in this. It almost feels like a contrast to what the first half of the movie was trying to set. So then the same thing here, where they don't even waste time with 30 minutes. They're like, no, we got to wrap this up in like 10. We are not spending that first half being a silent film. But yeah.
But I think like one thing that I'm gonna say, and obviously there's the difference in kind of the advancement of animation and all like technology that has come since Wall-E. So don't get me wrong, I like Wall-E, but Wall-E, those first 40 minutes being almost a silent film,
staring at trash,
you're like kind of like
less engaged
here. And again, this, to be fair, it's like time has passed, technology has advanced. Even the parts where there's really no dialogue, because of the animation, I mentioned it before, it's so alive that you're just engaged.
I also think there's a lot going on in the movie that's fun, like the different features of Roz, and you know, she can disattach her body parts.
And she can like mimic, like when she,
the mimicry bit, yeah.
When she's like trying to scale to get out of the wave, and she's like, she falls, she sees the crab going up, and she's like, huh, boom, boom, boom. She just
yeah,
like, that was funny.
You know what screamed Iron Giant more than anything? When like the animals took her apart and each individual piece.
Oh, the pieces came back.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Iron Giant, close the books.
Nobody's original. Where's Vin Diesel? Bring him in.
Oh man, no, that was funny. I
think they knew that too, though. I think they knew robots are cool. Robots are in. They got to make Roz lovable in her own way. And I think because compared to these other movies, you know, Wall-E has Eve, the Iron Giant has Hogarth. And you know, Baymax has like the rest of Big Hero 6. She's got her animal friends.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal is here.
Yep.
They got quite a good cast. Pedro Pascal, Catherine O'Hara, Mark Hamill, Matt Berry, and then Kit Connor.
Who did Catherine play? Because I knew she was
The
in the
possum,
movie.
the possum right behind you.
Oh, that was the possum. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They got good cast. Stephanie Shu is here too.
Oh yeah, she's the robot. I think the one that comes in kind of
Yes.
later.
Oh, that was her. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves playing these. I don't know, these evil. I mean, she's not evil in Everything Everywhere, but
Oh, the evil one, not the.
He's the evil robot.
Not the other Roz. Not the other
the
Roz.
evil one.
Okay.
Evil robot.
Yeah. Tentacles. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Not nice cast. But I guess the crux of this movie is the relationship with Roz and Bright Bill.
Littlefoot.
Oh God! Oh, is this the Littlefoot?
Yes.
What is this? What is this? The Great Valley?
The Great
Oh my
Valley
God, that's
Star.
funny.
The Great
Trees.
Valley Adventure.
There you go. Gross.
Sure, if you want to call it that.
Now make 8 sequels.
Oh God, stop! No, and
What if this is the
only
start? What if this is the start? What if Land Before Time,
no,
phenomenal
no.
first movie, great in animation, story, everything.
Nope.
Continue with direct-to-DVD films.
Keep in mind, all those directed DVDs were all musicals. Only the first Land Before Time.
Were they all musicals?
Yes, only the first Land Before. Yes. All the Land Before Times are musicals, except the first one. The dark grim one where Littlefoot's mother gets whacked by a sharp tooth. Yes.
That scene though, for like a child to see that scene, it's like, damn.
It's hard to process.
This had a sad scene. Similarly, Roz.
They don't hide from death in this movie.
There was an accident.
They really don't.
Sometimes
they play it very dark, and it's really funny. Like the pause. You're not ready to be a mom, so I like 7 children. 6.
Oh my God! I thought that was so funny.
I thought that kid actually died.
Oh my God! Yeah. Well, you heard like the
really died. And then he's like, "I'm okay, Mom."
I mean, the fact it was off screen, it made me believe it even more because they're like, "Oh, they're not showing that." They're not.
Oh yeah, I can't believe that baby. I can't believe the baby. I'm okay.
And it's like, oh, great. And it's like she's like, "Damn it, I wanted him to die." That like there were some parts of this movie that were just like really funny in that sense.
Well, I think that's actually a common thread throughout the movie is that again, they gave a reason for how she can communicate with the animals and how they all talk. But like part of the movie was that they are all prey and predators. Like they made it a point to point that out, and Roz kind of brought them all together, but it was very much like, why would we hang out with you? Or like Fink literally kept saying, yeah, I'll eat the baby gosling, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I mean, I think I like that little bit of realism to it.
Yeah.
Where they're not shying away, where it's a utopia where the bear doesn't eat any of the fish because they can talk.
The bear just eats berries. No meat.
Right. The fox only eats mushrooms out of the ground. He doesn't eat, baby ducks and gooses.
Yeah, like Lion King, that all like, and granted, I love Lion King, that all the animals are bowing down to the lions. It's like,
giraffes,
they're gonna eat your ass.
I've always said I need the Lion King to explain why they bow down.
It's the circle of life. It's in the song. They literally.
Okay, and this movie kind of takes the circle of life, and it's like, hey, it's real. This ain't no Lion King until it becomes Lion King.
I mean, they even kind of touch on it with Bright Bill, with like the circumstances of his birth.
Because he's a runt.
Because he's a runt, and they're like, when Roz accidentally, killed his mother, it's almost like a dark twist of fate, where it's like, listen, even though that happened, you probably would have died had she not done that.
You were gonna die. She gave you a second chance.
Right. It's almost like what's
harsh truth.
Harsh truth, or a dark truth, a dark necessity, something like that. But yeah, no, it goes there. And see, I like movies that do that, where they treat, because animated movies, at least this one in particular, is the primary demographic is children, and I like that at least they don't shy away from topics like that. You know, they present it in an appropriate way where a kid can understand it and can ask questions about it later without being like, you know, this duck got its head cut off by like a random saw blade out of nowhere. You know, not trying to traumatize them.
Right.
And I think that's
they
an art
treat
in
their
itself.
audience with respect. That's what I like. I like it when animated films that are directed towards children treat those children with respect. Not everything has to be home. I don't care what you say about home.
Oh my God. Have you watched Home?
I don't need to.
I don't think you've
watched
actually watched it. I think Home is not as bad as what you are making it out to be.
No, it's bad. Okay, then go ahead and admit Home on the Range is good.
Stop. Home on the Range is bad.
No,
that's a bad movie.
No, you're not giving it. You just don't like Roseanne Barr.
Oh my God, it has nothing to do with Roseanne Barr. No one cared about what the other. No, actually, no. Roseanne Barr, fuck her.
No, he doesn't mean that.
She said what she said that one time. She said what she said that one time. She said what she said that one time. She drew the line in the sand. Home on the Range is trash. We don't need it. We don't need it. There ain't no revisionist history. It's a bad movie, okay?
Wow.
This ain't no Home on the Range,
You're
okay? And they knew that. I'm sorry. You brought it out. I'm the villain of your story. That's what you want. But yes, the movie doesn't shy away.
Okay.
And again, to its credit, I think the watching kind of Bright Bill and his comeuppance as a goose, and I guess it's the mother aspect. I guess again, you know, we brought up Lilo and Stitch, which Lilo and Stitch I feel is very sibling. You know, you had Nani and Lilo.
Yeah.
And Stitch, more or less, I wouldn't consider Stitch a pet. He's like her brother at that point. I don't know. What you don't look at Stitch as a pet still, do you?
He's a dog.
Or is he? He's not though. I get fine.
You can love your dog.
Fine.
This comes from someone that's never had a dog before.
Hey, now.
I
used to know a dog.
Right. What was it shaped like?
Don't worry about it. He made appearances on the pod too, way back when.
He's
Either
famous.
way.
Invite him back on again.
No thanks. Toothless and what would you call Toothless and Hiccup? What would you call their relationship? A bond?
I think it's a bond of friend. It's a bond of friendship.
Yeah.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
mutually
like Yugi with his deck of cards.
Oh,
Like,
stop, God! What?
What? What?
You compare Hiccup and Toothless to Yugi and 60 cards?
What's wrong with that comparison?
That's so dumb. We were onto something.
No.
No. Like, Grandmaster, I see what you're saying. Like, again, like the themes are the themes are very similar, but this is like the unique aspects of each of them.
Well, I was going with this is the
This is the motherly bond.
Yeah, which I thought they did actually very well with. I guess specifically kind of, you know, the movie moves really fast, you know, where I guess ducks and water pheasants grow up fast, you know. It's a season or two that what you didn't like that? What?
I didn't like how quickly they jumped a little bit with that.
It jumped quick, yeah.
It jumped really quick. It was abrupt. I get it. They're trying to get to the point of what the story is supposed to be, but I kind of wanted to stick around a little bit more with the baby element of you know, Bright Bill, Littlefoot. I don't know. It felt abrupt when it happened, and I was like, oh God, he's already older. I guess they which, mind you, and we were talking about this a little bit before the pod, there were different moments in the movie that felt like this, where it was very abrupt and they jumped to get to the next plot point, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to stick with this current plot point that we were on right now. Didn't take away from how much I like the movie itself, but still, those parts stuck out to me. So that in particular, when they time skip into I don't know if you would call him teenage Bright Bill.
No, that's teenage Bright Bill.
Yeah. So It is what it is.
No, I didn't mind the jump a little bit, kind of like of Baby Bright Bill to teenage Bright Bill, because honestly, yes, Baby Bright Bill was adorable, like adorable to see, and it was kind of funny, just like Roz trying to figure out like what the hell to do with this little thing, and at the same time, to a certain degree, almost like protecting it from Fink. Uh, it was kind of cute and all that, but it's like that's kind of like as much as you can go, like from a character standpoint, and just like making it interesting, or even like a deeper dive. That's as much as you can do with that. Like it's great to see little Bright Bill. He's cute, he's adorable, it's funny and all that. But where you really get to the meat of it, the substance of kind of like what makes this film really, really, really good, and you can explore that relationship between her and Bright Bill more, is going to the teen years. That's where it is.
I know what this movie is now.
It's always something else. It's never original.
Have you seen This Is Us? Or any story about adoption, or not being with your birth parents? I can't really think of any other than This Is Us.
Sister?
Yeah.
Definitely, I think it's like, so I went to see it with my girlfriend, and it's like we were talking about this, like the adoption part of it.
Yeah.
And this is like, no, and definitely this is a movie. This is such a touching movie, like when it comes to like adoption and all that. Like,
well, it goes through the stages. It takes the adoption part. And if you've seen This Is Us, it works really well when you think of the characters of Randall and oh God, I forgot her name. I think it's Beth. Don't quote me. But yes, you see her trying to be a mother, but then there's that extra layer of she is an adopted mother, and he has to come to terms with that. And especially, see, he can't come to terms with that as a baby.
Exactly. So that's why I understand that abrupt, like semi-abrupt, like change, because you can't dabble too long in Baby Bright Bill part, because you're just gonna lose time, and you're really taking away from the essence of the movie.
At least as far as I guess, when you're watching it, you don't realize what the movie is going to be until the time jump happens. Yes. Then you realize, oh, I see where this is going. But but on top of that too, it's not even like it's about
he
just grew up and he's rebellious.
And no, he's not.
Right.
If he doesn't learn to fly, he's gonna die.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is he gonna die? Is he gonna die?
He probably will die. He's got to go south.
No, but I think it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit more, like a little bit deeper than that. It's not that he's gonna die, but Bright Bill, like once, like Teen Bright Bill, we're seeing it at the beginning. He has a conflict of identity. It's like,
oh, is this like going off to college, leaving the nest?
It's like,
yes, it all works.
Oh, it all works. It all works. References.
He has a conflict of identity. It's like he's been raised by Roz. Roz is not a bird. Roz is not even a living being. Roz is a freaking robot.
Roz doesn't know what love is.
And like, she doesn't even know what love is. She's honestly being she's playing it by ear. She's trying to figure things out, which is, again, like what a lot of us do. Like when we raise a kid, it's like we aren't born knowing how to be parents. You kind of have to, you play it by ear, you learn as you go. And Bright Bill has learned everything from Roz. And maybe
Bright Bill was doing the breaststroke.
Because
Roz, that's funny.
The way
that was hilarious. That was funny.
How to swim is just like how humans do.
It's funny because like one of the geese like actually pointed out to him like, that's not swimming, and he's like, what do you mean it is? Like he just keeps on doing it.
But see, in that okay, so that's really good that you mentioned the swimming part, because like in Parenthood, or when you're a teenager, they don't want to hear it from you, right? So he wasn't gonna learn to be a good flyer from Roz. Yeah. One, Roz can't even fly, so they got Ving Rhames is Falcon. I forget his name. But he teaches him how to fly.
Yeah.
And that's very much like your kid is coming at you saying they want to do certain things, but you got to recognize you're not always going to be the best equipped to teach them, or or it's also the same thing where it's like it never hits until you hear it from somebody else,
Yeah.
And so,
Right, yeah.
But I think, but at the same time, it's kind of like Bright Bill doesn't know where he belongs to a certain degree. Like, he sees beings that look like him, and he's trying to approach them, trying to make friends, but he's never really been with his kind. He's like,
oh no, right.
and it's like this, it's kind of like you're the outcast of this all. And then it's like, yeah, like he has to learn how to be like he needs to learn how to be a good bird.
And that's why I say
Good bird.
it's very much This Is Us, because Randall in that show was adopted by a white family, and then feels some type of way when he wants to go out and interact with more black people in his community and go to Howard, and HBCU. Bright Bill wants to be with the geese.
Yeah.
And I think it works really well because Roz is a robot. So on top of just not knowing what to do as a mother, well, she's a robot. Of course, she's not supposed to know what to do. So I think the movie works really well as you watch her really adapt and lose. I guess that's the title of the movie. She becomes less of a robot and more wild as the film goes on. And I actually, story-wise, I thought that really. What are you scratching your nose for?
Yeah, no, you're just dumb because you.
What?
When they in the third act, when they're fighting and saving the forest, and like the evil robot's like, I don't understand. It's not in your protocol. You're just a robot. What are you? And then she says, I'm a wild robot.
Come on, that was a moment. That was a good. She earned it. She earned that moment. She earned that moment. I'm a wild robot. Come on, that was great.
Man, that
was great. Dr. Monarch shook Dr. J. So I was like, oh, because he always does that stupid shit to me in the movies, and I can't believe he didn't do it.
Sense.
That made sense. She earned it. She's a wild robot.
Oh man. That's funny. I guess it's what if they rolled the credits there? What if the movie ended right there?
They could have. I'm glad they didn't, because that's not the part that moved me to tears. But Bright Bill eventually goes off. How do you like the element of, I guess this was a kind of a big switch up for the film, where Bright Bill and the geese run into the other robots and the other humans. Was that all right? I guess the whole that part was really,
to me, it felt
I don't know
disjointed.
if it's necessary.
It felt disjointed.
Explain.
It just came out of nowhere. Like, they're flying to what, south of the winter.
They're going south.
And it's like they can land anywhere. They just so happen to land in a facility that is housing other Roz robots, and so ensues a fight sequence or a flight sequence, and it causes the main leader bird, I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too. Bill Nye's character.
Bill Nye, yeah.
Long neck.
Causes him to die, and I don't know. This was adding on to that abruptness or that disjointed feeling that I was feeling when they jumped from Bright Bill from a child to like a teenager.
Felt like a different movie.
It felt like a different. I wouldn't even say different movie. Like I don't mind it being there, but it felt isolated in a bubble, because I felt like that scene's sole purpose was just to have the other geese trust in Bright Bill, in like a fight or flight scenario, and have Bill Nye's character, Long Neck, die. And then once you remove that, it doesn't really do anything else. Like, you remove that scene.
Because they come back anyways.
Yeah, they still come back. And Bright Bill even proves himself, like, when they're fighting against the robots at the end. So it's like, what did that scene I guess, add to like the movie in a way.
So I think, okay, I think what it proved a little bit, yeah, it's like I can understand what you're saying, that it's kind of like that isolated event that like serves this purpose, right? I think one of the things that this movie really kind of tries to hammer, and I think does a good job on it. It's like, I think it's like you can kind of like be whatever you want to be, and it's like you're not limited by your like
Your programming,
your programming, your limitations, or
your birth.
your birth, even like like a disability, because like to a certain degree, because he's the runt. He's the runt. Like, he was
Common
destined.
thread. Toothless had a broken tail wing. Common thread.
Yeah, he was destined to die, but
Iron Giant had a dent.
But because of how he was raised, because he was raised by Roz, is that he was the only one who could truly lead the geese out of there. Like, nobody could have let them out except him, because he was raised by Roz. That set him apart. That made him unique. And like, again, just hammering, it's like, we all have different circumstances, but each one of us has a great role, has some skill, has something that makes us us that no one else can replicate.
Can I give you a famous quote? And I swear, if y'all can't guess it, you're not fans.
I think I already know what it is.
I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Mewtwo, yo. Mewtwo.
Copy paste. It's not original. It's not an original movie.
Not original. It's more points.
No, but and I think it still serves a purpose, that like he comes back because Roz sees what he did. I think it's like
proud mother moment.
It's like a proud mother moment. Like,
that's exactly what it is.
Because Roz, this entire time, she was like, she was gonna leave, but no, she stayed. And she was nervous. The first thing she was like, did he come back? Like, she was nervous about him surviving. And when she sees that not only did he survive, he's their leader now. He's the one that led them.
And he comes back with a deeper appreciation.
Exactly. And he comes back, and that, like, so I think that scene, I don't think it's that isolated. It does serve a purpose, like a greater purpose in the end, of like the character development, and even Roz, like those motherly feelings of Roz, and all that aberrant programming just going out of control in a good sense, obviously.
Here's where I think I still enjoy the movie despite that, because it's kind of going into what you said, where even though I may think that scene is isolated, where it kind of just comes out of nowhere, the payoff that they still give for what they're trying to sell to you, which is what you just said, like, Bright Bill leading the pack and coming back to Roz, it still hits. Even though it was abrupt, and I'm like, wait, how are we here? Like, what are the odds of him being at this facility with other Roz units? What they're trying to at least do in just shoehorning that in is to get you that moment. And some movies and shows like rush you in there without a good payoff.
Oh, it's kind of like if they spoon feed you all this in the beginning. And like I said, if the payoff isn't there, then the payoff isn't there.
What are you comparing it to? What's the comparison?
Nothing.
What's the comparison?
You don't remember. It's okay.
I would be glad to be educated.
Well, just like educate us.
No, it's it. We'll talk about it later tonight, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. It's about that. All right.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, I guess in that the Bright Bill venture felt somewhat isolated, but the payoff is there. I think even her leave the nest syndrome, where she's now
the empty nest syndrome,
bonding with the other animals
and
saving them from winter.
Also, the relationship between her and Think is very nice.
Think is a great character.
I love the.
I think Pedro Pascal. I don't think he has any other voice acting credits.
No, it's I think definitely there, like the interactions that kind of like made me tear up. Obviously, the Bright Bill
Hold on.
Bright Bill Roz moment.
Let's
Think
build
and
it.
Roz. Think and
Well,
Roz in the empty nest.
let's build it. Well, the empty nest or like the very end? Are you talking about the very
I would
end?
say kind of both, because the empty nest, it's kind of because Roz, is just like, yeah, he left. It's like there's kind of nothing left for me. And like think is like, oh, like it's like you can feel in his voice. It's like, I don't want you to leave, Roz.
We still
At
have
this,
each other.
it's like we still have each other. I
How
don't
did you
want to
think?
leave. And it's like he's really afraid of losing Roz. It's like I lost. Like he also feels like I lost Bright though. I don't want to lose you too.
He's got abandonment issues.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
he was always the loner. And like he discovered, it's like, wow, like maybe having someone with you, it's like such a rewarding experience. And then like Bright Bill leaves, and now like Roz is kind of like, yeah, teetering there, and he's like, don't leave. But he can't say it at that point. He doesn't say it. It's like, he wants to say it, but he doesn't, like, he's too proud to say it, and he just like leaves. He disappears.
I kind of wanted Fink to get like a Jesse moment from Toy Story 2. Where because he's always hinting at his past or what happened to him, and I thought they were gonna play like a very quick flashback with when somebody loved me.
Ew, God.
Everything was beautiful.
If there wasn't Bright Bill, we probably
come on.
If there wasn't Bright Bill, we probably would have got that moment. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
he's part of the Holy Trinity.
He is. He's a great. Yes, their Trinity is very good, I'll say. But I guess with the final act in I forget how that moment kind of builds, but like what Braz stands up to the thing, and then the rest of the animals kind of stand.
First and foremost, like Roz bringing all the animals together and
during the winter, yeah,
and Think kind of coming in, like saying, it's like, yo, all of you stop fighting. Like Roz is literally
fighting for us right now.
Like fighting for us. She's kind of like malfunctioning. She's about to shut down because her power cell it depends on like solar light right now because it's malfunctioning. It's like, and she's going out of her way to save all of you, despite all of you calling her a monster.
God. I'm sorry. There's a scene later on that I'll touch on that sent me, but it's in relation to what you're saying, Dr. Mono.
And it's like, despite you all calling her a monster, she is the only one that's fighting for all of you. Yeah, and then the bear, and like then the bear comes out like to like saying like, yo, all of you shut up, listen to what this guy has to say, and all that. Boom.
Well, I think it's the third act and the first act, or maybe the first scene where all her initial interactions with the animals are them rummaging through her body parts, chasing her through the forest, kicking the shit out of her, clawing her, like and whatnot. And then the stark contrast at the end of the movie, they are all siding with her. She's no longer the monster. She's that motherly robot. I mean, I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, they did good with that. They kind of ate.
It's just so earned. It's kind of like you see how little by little, like even throughout, the perception of Roz from other animals changes. How like Longneck also sees her. It's like saying like, oh yeah, we geese. It's like we're just we're gossipers. We're not interesting at all. But it's like you're the star. It's like Bright Bill is the most fascinating of all of us, and you're the star that shines the brightest for making for getting him to where he is right now.
And I think actually that there's evolution when you mention that right there. When you look at like Lilo and Stitch, I'll talk about Lilo and Stitch because the only people that see Stitch's growth is like Nani, where it has a profound effect on a character, Stitch's growth. Like we don't see what the hula teacher thinks about Stitch. We don't see what Myrtle and we don't see what they think about Stitch by the end of the film. And I guess same a little bit with How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, you do see the island of Berk be accepting of dragons and whatnot, but outside of the children and a couple of adults, we don't have that personal connection to kind of, you know, the growth of Hiccup, you know. But here, a lot of these animals have characters, and I do feel we see that drastic shift from Act 1 to Act 3, and I actually think that was done really well. Yeah, just them standing together, even that part with the tree and the beaver,
That was
uh,
funny.
that was funny.
You all must admit that you were wrong for making
And then I'm
fun of me.
cool.
No, and also the beaver that he gives Roz a new leg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that was nice.
Out of nowhere, it's like he sees Roz struggling, but he sees, and I think it's like he like the beaver to a certain degree like feels a little bit of like kingship with Roz because everyone like teases the beaver. It's like, you're crazy, you're trying to like bring this tree down, ha ha ha, and everyone's laughing at him, and everyone's laughing at Roz. And he sees how much Roz is really trying and trying and trying to, do
They're
what's
parallels.
right, Bill. Those parallels. And I think like he sees that and he's like, let me help you out here.
He has a task. She has a task, and they
He has
both
a task. And
Yep.
and they will stick to their task no matter what everyone says.
correct.
Right.
Correct.
Man,
What is on your tongue?
that scene where she's jumping out of the airship when it blows up, and she rips
she
out
puts
her
Bright Bill.
core. But she rips out her core, and he's like, "No, no, mom, no, Roz, you need that. You need that to live." And she's like, "I got everything right here."
Well, it's okay. Hold on. Is that when you started tearing?
I think I was already on the verge before that. I think I did it a couple times, but that was where I lost it. I couldn't restrain it anymore.
I give it to Kit Connor. Kit Connor, if you know him, he played young Elton John in Rocket Man, and he's on Heartstoppers. He's good, but this is his first vocal performance, I think.
He sounds so
he did really
familiar.
well. If you've seen Rocket Man or Heartstoppers,
I've seen Rocket Man. I don't remember him from that.
He's the kid. He's the kid Elton John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what it is about his voice. It kind of reminds me of like Elijah Wood a little bit.
He just, I don't know, he kind of nailed that teenage angst, and he didn't sound so much like a 20-plus-year-old.
Right.
And he hit with the emotions, like,
Yeah.
you're all I got, Mom. Like,
Yeah, like a mix of like Elijah Wood and Max from Goofy movie.
Oh God, okay.
No, but that was a scene that also got me. Like when he like Roz is shutting down, and like because they're taking away all her memories and all that, and how like he's like, because even they've had that tumultuous relationship at that point, because he feels like, yeah, like it's like you accidentally killed my birth mother and all that, like, and all my brothers and sisters, and like you're I'm not like you, where do I belong? But at the end of the day, he's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and everything that you did it for me. And it's like, I can only, like, this is all for you. And that was so touching that, like, I bawled at that moment. Like, like I was like, damn.
They nailed it.
No. This film, there were so many scenes that I was just like tearing. That moment made me bawl.
I think the final bit, the final stretch of the movie. So you had that part. And also I'd like to shout out Chris Bowers, who did the score. That score hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That score hit. He's known for his Bridgerton work. And he also, I'm pretty sure he just won an Academy Award for a short film, teaching kids about orchestra. He's going places. I like him a lot. You had that stretch with Bright Bill and Roz, and then Roz, has to go because they're going to keep coming. Mm-hmm. They're going to keep destroying the forest. Environmentalism. And then you had Fink's little, This part got me. Oh my God. When Fink's like, who am I gonna talk to? Who am I gonna sleep with? And
Yeah,
like, you're
like that.
always there for me. And then
It's like it's like you're my best friend. It's like don't leave me. It's like, and then like the bear comes in.
yo, when the bear came and he said, you could talk, Mark Hamill, you could talk to me. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that part too.
I was like, oh no, no,
It was good.
wasn't supposed to do this. This can't rival the Iron Giant.
It
No!
did. Dare I say it may have been even better.
I think I teared up like that in the Iron Giant.
I think there's more layers to this film than there is Iron Giant. Not to
Yes.
discredit Iron Giant for what it was. It was a great film. Is a great film. But I feel like with multiple rewatches of this movie in particular, I think you're going to discover new things about what some of the parallels are with the story and the characters. I think it's better than Iron Giant. You asked me earlier.
The Iron Giant walked so the wild robot could leap and bound. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
We need to recognize. We need to
No,
recognize.
no,
I'm
like,
glad
I
you
think-
came to that conclusion because
I'm
before
just-
this pod, you were like, Iron Giant did it better. Iron Giant did it better. Iron Giant
two
did
different
first.
two different types of stories we're trying to get across.
You can't
No,
compare. You
this-
can't compare.
No, you
them.
can compare. It's fine.
Dumb.
This
But
is
thematically-
proof that you can rehabilitate a villain like Grandmaster.
I'm not
Oh,
rehabilitated.
is this your Arkham Asylum arc? Where
What am I?
This
What
is
are you? What is this?
redemption arc.
What are you? Therapy? What is this?
this
No.
is therapy. Dr. Mondo is giving you your medicine to convince you.
No, bring in Dr. Rika and then maybe we can talk about rehabilitation.
I am
okay.
a rehab doctor, but you know.
The last bit of the film is kind of, I guess, sequel territory. Where I already thought the ending was relatively perfect. The
I think you
final
could leave
goodbye.
it here, really.
I
I
think
thought you
could
could have
leave
left
it
it there.
here.
I thought you could have left it there.
Yeah, you gotta.
I did. I don't want to call it egregious, but like, it still moved me at the very end. I did tear up at that part too.
Yeah.
Because you know, the anxiety that comes with, did they reprogram her back, or could they not find her heart? You know, I'm Roz. What the hell's her name?
I
want to say it one time. I want to say it one time. I want to say it.
Oh, I don't know. It's Razum 7134.
I am Razum 7134. But you can call me Roz. I was like,
That was
That's
such a
sad,
cute
baby.
ending.
Grandmaster let out the loudest like gasp at the end.
no,
of
I
that
said
movie.
fuck. I said fuck. There were kids in the movie too.
You ruined it for them.
No, they're fine. They're fine. They're
No,
fine.
like this was honestly such a beautiful movie, not only visually but emotionally.
Yeah,
it-
no. This, since The Last Wish, this has made me think I maybe need to go back and watch some of these 2020 DreamWorks movies. Maybe we've been too harsh on DreamWorks. You did not watch Boss Baby.
I have seen Boss Baby.
You don't
Boss
like
Baby,
Home.
No, Boss Baby, funny enough, is a guilty pleasure. I actually liked Boss Baby, the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
I haven't seen the second one either. No.
But Home is trash. I don't care what you have to say about Home. Home is trash. And unless we acknowledge the turds in DreamWorks catalog, we can never get the diamonds that is stuff like the Wild Robot. You gotta acknowledge there are some turds so you can get some diamonds.
Maybe I have a past with Home that you don't know about. Maybe someone used to like watching
I think I
Home.
know. I think I know.
Damn.
That is so funny. You know what's? You know what? No, let me not say anything. Let me not say anything about.
Leave it alone. I'm kidding. I'm fine.
No,
I'm
no,
perfectly fine.
no.
I am.
Oh, that is so funny.
Maybe we need to go back and do our DreamWorks ranking. We did the Pixar. Maybe we need to go back and do the DreamWorks and actually watch some of these films. Because if they're gonna put it, I'm telling you right now, I doubt Dogman's gonna reach the heights of the Wild Robot. But I mean, completely different film.
I think for DreamWorks, you need some middle ground movies that are not pushing the envelope too much to just make the money that you hope it makes. So like, you got to have a Mr. Peabody and Sherman every now and then.
It's not that bad of a movie.
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just an okay movie. It's an okay movie. You need a Captain Underpants. You need those movies.
Also not as bad.
You need the. I'm putting those as like that's their like midline of like
those are for the children.
those are for the children, and they're not bad films, but that's DreamWorks midline. That's their midline.
Sure.
You got turds below that, like Home. Home's not a midline. Home's a turd. But you need those midline movies so that they can be more risky with a film like Wild Robot and be like, oh yeah, we're going in on that one. We're gonna sell it. I'm gonna be honest. Critically, it's a critical darling. I think it's gonna be a mild box office bomb with this film.
I mean, and it's not touching Inside Out 2.
Oh, no, nowhere close. But like in terms of what its budget was and what little marketing I've seen of this movie. And
marketing has been trash.
Marketing has been trash, and its opening weekend, it will exceed its budget, its box office, I feel like, but I don't think it's gonna reach that profitable range. And that kind of sucks. That really does suck, because this movie deserves more than that. I'm gonna say it, and I will be on this hill. For me, this is the animated movie of the year. The century? Oh.
I don't want to say I'm not trying to knock what you're saying. The contenders this year are not.
No, granted, I agree. But when
right now we have three. I got three that I can name that are.
If Across the Spider-Verse came out, no, Beyond. If Beyond came out this year, which it was intended.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if it was great. Right now, listen, it's this movie, Inside Out 2, Transformers 1.
I liked it more than Transformers 1.
I think it's more cohesively better than Transformers 1.
And Inside Out 2 moved me also. I feel like they're neck and neck, really.
Nah, like this movie pulled at my heartstrings so much more than Inside Out 2. And Inside Out 2 was really good. Don't get me wrong. I really liked the movie. But this movie, from start to finish, I was just glued, both like visually and emotionally, to this film. Like, this film was so beautiful. I could easily watch this film again.
I would watch it again, yeah.
Gladly.
I'd need to watch it again.
Like, I'm not a guy
who
tends to watch films more than once, unless they're very, very good. And this movie, I can easily watch it right now again, and I'm going to enjoy it thoroughly. And likely, I'm going to find some things that I didn't find the first time.
Dr. Mondo, did you see what Grandmaster did?
No, I didn't.
He said he fell asleep for the first 30 minutes.
No, I didn't fall asleep in the beginning. I fell asleep during the long neck death.
My God.
In parts of the
granted, I'm not even surprised. I have photos of him like sleeping, standing up. It's like
they don't need to know that.
Too late.
Which to that point though, that's why I was so shocked that I cried, because I was like, I fell asleep. I'm not supposed to cry. I missed portion of the movie. Why are these still hitting?
That's funny.
The emotional high still hit. Despite what rockiness what were in some scenes with like how much they jumped, the payoffs still delivered. And usually that doesn't. And so to that point, I was saying to myself, why is this still hitting me? I had problems with how they jump from certain plot points. This shouldn't work the way it is. And it was working. It was working.
But yeah, like this, I know it's like, I know the contenders aren't very strong, but it's like, for me, it's a no-brainer. This is
I only got three that I think are worth contending. I think of these three, I'll say that as far as what makes the Wild Robot stand out the most, it's just visually. It is visually the most, I think, innovative and just, I guess, energetic as well. What they do in this,
dare I say daring?
it is
Was this
daring
movie
because
daring?
animation wise, it is daring.
Oh,
Obviously,
it was daring because it referenced Iron Giant. It referenced
No,
Lilo
it's
and
daring
Stitch.
because
It referenced...
it's daring because they are pushing the envelope for what animation can be as a medium, and they went there and they did it, and it was beautiful to watch. I think it's got that right there is, I think, what separates it from the rest and distinguishes itself from the rest. You see, but obviously, we point out how this plot is similar to other plots, and but that's fine because again, it does enough to distinguish itself to not feel like I'm watching a ripoff of the Iron Giant, a ripoff of Wall-E, a ripoff of Baymax, a ripoff of 2005's great film Robots, starring Ewan McGregor and Robin Williams.
Amanda
It doesn't,
Bynes.
and Amanda Bynes, correct. It doesn't feel like that. It does feel unique. It does feel like it has earned its spot in a list of animated greats. So I give it to Chris Sanders. Did he write the thing too? Did he write it?
He did.
Did he write it? It's based on a book, actually, but he did write the screenplay. So shout out to him. Shout out to Lupita, Pedro, Kit, Bill, Stephanie, Mark, Captain Matt, and Ving. Y'all need to go watch this movie.
Yeah, go support quality films.
Yeah, this and Transformers, robots. They're dominating.
God.
They're dominating quarter 3.
Ugh.
No, I mean we're in quarter 4 now, so go help.
Yeah, Transformers.
Dr. Mondo, you need to go watch Transformers 1.
Transformers 1 not doing too well.
It's not doing so well. Yeah, it's not.
It's
Let's let China save it.
Oh yeah, China
Which
might
one?
save it.
Transformers?
Transformers, yeah.
Yeah. A critical darling, but it's those numbers are not looking good.
Marketing was trash. Marketing was trash.
Marketing was pretty trash.
Yep.
But yeah, no.
I think that's it, right? We don't even need to drop a final score, right? 10 A's, 9s, whatever.
It's
yeah.
I think the conversation speaks for itself.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Phenomenal film, despite some bumpy plot points, but it was really good. It was really good.
It was phenomenal. I agree.
Will it get the Oscar for
I think it's the
year?
front runner right now.
I think it better.
Ain't no way Moana 2 knocks this out of the water.
There's your Bob Iger influence.
Ain't no way.
If Moana 2 comes in and sweeps
out. No.
No.
I guarantee the musical score of The Wild Robot is better than half the songs that Moana 2 releases.
Okay, like the animated films that I can see like getting in the podium that are like haven't come out yet. Moana 2 and Mufasa?
Mufasa doesn't count.
Well, it's CG animation, so
it will never be nominated for best animated.
It's not? Okay.
Even though, yes, it is technically animated, categorically, it's always going to be presented as like a live action.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though
photorealistic.
So I think Moana.
Or that Flow movie.
The other animated
Flow
movie that I really
might contest. I think Flow. I like the trailers with Flow. I like the trailers.
The other one is Orion, like Orion in the Dark. That was a nice movie.
No, that came out in 2023.
No, I think it came out in 2024, like early.
No.
Y'all are sleeping on that Lord of the Rings anime.
Oh, okay. Orion in the Dark did come out in 2024. Okay.
Yeah, it came out at the beginning of 2024.
Damn. I think it got February. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think like Orion in the Dark is really good, but for me, it's like out of the animated movies that have come out this year, definitely The Wild Robot for me. That is the best one.
Yeah.
And even though I liked Inside Out 2, this is much better than Inside Out 2, in my opinion. Much better.
We'll see which one I watch for a second time. I'll let that dictate. But I think that is it from us here at the Yonko table talking about The Wild Robot from DreamWorks Animation Studios, directed by Chris Sanders and starring Lupita Nyong'o and a cast of great talent, and what we may consider one of the greatest animated films ever made. But that's it from us. I'm your host, Grandmaster Hoop. Oh, Yanko Grand. Oh, Yanko. Dr. Jace Attorney,
Wow.
Supernova. Dr. Mondo, thank you for supporting us on all Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Here we are. Stick around, folks, for later. We'll be back to talk WandaVision after episode 4 debut. So check us out later. And of course, if you ever want to chat with us, meet us in the discourse in the link below. But that is it from us. How shall we close this? Bright Bill, stay. No following. It's Iron Giant.
No.
Oh, terrible.
That was that moment.
Reference. I want
That
a
was
reference.
the moment. That was it.
Kit Mansley was a better villain.
Yes.
Oh, wow. No. You can stop.
Where's the giant, Mansley?
Fire the missiles now.
Screw my country. I want to live.